I did want to bring this up to our panel, and you could even answer in the chat as well. But is there a statue or a piece that you sold that you regret selling? Marcos, is there one that you sold that you regret doing?
I'm still pretty new. I've sold zero, but I'm thinking about selling Say Cheese. Like it's up there for sale, but man, I look at it. I'm like, God damn, it's just good. It's a good piece. It has its issues. I said in the review and the live unboxing, but I don't know. Like I feel like if I do get rid of that, I'll be mad. But the good thing about Joker is like there's a million Jokers. Like Jay's coming out with one for sure. You know, like there's gonna be a million Jokers. So that's the thing. But I do like that piece a lot. Like there's a lot of pluses in that, but there's some minuses too. So that's the only one I thought about selling. This one too, the Veroni Kitchen. I love it. It's one of my favorite pieces though. I'm selling it. Like, I put it up there for like a really high price though. So it's like if I sell it at that price, I'll be happy. But if I don't sell it, I'm super content, like 100%. So, but that's it though. I haven't sold anything yet.
Okay, and Brian, is there one that you regret selling that you sold recently, or even it would have to be recent?
Yeah, here's kind of the problem with me is that I don't really sell very often, and that's kind of why I have this problem with having too many. So the ones that I've sold, it's been very necessary, and I don't regret them. I mean, my whole thing is, I know how I am, and I know I will regret them if I sell a lot of the ones that are around here. So I'm very strategic about what I'm going to let go when I do let them go, which are very few and far between. But the ones that I have let go, no, I actually don't regret it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
the very few.
There's pieces in my collection that I always say that I never would sell, and I sold them only to make room for others that are coming. Right. I mean, there's an extremely expensive wall coming to the side over here that's not free. So I got to make funds and space for it. And that's kind of why I did that. The one piece I do regret selling is the XM Iron Man Classic. I've always loved that statue. I love the pose. I love everything about it. I just had to make room for others. And my eye is on the prize, right? So I got a display that I want to build. And that's what my eye keeps going to versus the ones that I don't want to let go of. I got to keep telling myself, you just can't have everything. Like you can't have all of them.
See, Jimmy, that's a great outlook. My problem is that I will put them in the box and I'll put them in storage.
Wow. Okay.
Before I sell them, which is a problem because I should let go of some of these.
Yeah. I mean, it's I'm just trying to I'm trying to be realistic of collecting and what I'm trying to accomplish for the next 2 years. You're going to Japan, you're going here, you're going to do this, you're going to build this, you're going to buy these, you're going to get rid of this. I mean, I'm like, man, there's not enough money for me to do all that. So I got to start making arrangements, making sure that everything's fits properly, freeing up funds, doing those things. But if I have one that I regret selling, is the XM Classic Iron Man. I've always loved that piece, and maybe he'll come back down the road somewhere.
Jimmy, I thought you would say the custom Weapon X. You had that on PO. I remember that you sold that as well.
That one was really good too.
Yeah.
I also had a custom Thor that was probably one of the best ever made, in my opinion. No one's even come close to that one. And it was painted by John, like Ulrich. So, I mean, it was literally a showstopper when you walk in. I was like, man. But at the time when I sold Thor and I sold Queen Studios Scarhawk on Throne. I sold both of them together, and I made a really good amount of money. So it was. I had like all this money in one hand. I guess I'll go ahead and sell. That's how I got my Alex Ross pieces. So that's how I did that. That's how I got all those. Anyways, Noah, is there a piece that maybe you regret selling?
Yeah, I would say most recently would definitely be the Prime 1 third skill Doomslayer DX version.
I knew it.
But a beautiful piece, on a positive note, though, I always loved that statue and I love that game. But we got Doom the Dark Ages coming out next year. And so I'm hoping that hopefully Prime 1, but anybody can do a statue of his armor in that game, because he's got like he has some chains. He has like a I don't even know what you call it, like a shield with like spinning blades, and he's got all these really cool weapons, very medieval style. So I'm really just holding out for that because that would be an instant buy for me. So I think it would match a little better. Like the Doomslayer was amazing, but it with like all the dark medieval fantasy kind of stuff and like the Batman and everything that I have, it just didn't really look too good. It kind of stood out. So I'm hoping for that new version of Doom guy that can be a lot more medieval looking.
Yeah, that would definitely match your collection. Yeah, that would go in there very well. I really love that Doom piece. I think it's incredible. But I think you're right. It doesn't match your collection as well as some others, and that frees up funds to buy others. What's that?
It was hard to pair anything next to it because it was just so much bigger than every other third scale and quarter scale. So
yeah. I mean, I think Prime One is like go big or go home, man. They got either the Predator line, they're making the new Aliens line, which I'm really afraid to see this new Aliens line. Man, I don't want to see that stuff.
Good luck.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay away from it, but trying to keep my mind focused on what the Predator line. But
you have an empty spot at that bottom right corner.
I do. I have an empty spot there. But I want 3 Predators. So what do? You can't have like 3 Predators and an Alien. You got to have 2 Aliens, 2 Predators. Like it will look more unified. It would if you did it that way. We'll see. Well,
4-4 Berserker. There we go.
Oh man, that Berserker's awesome. I love it.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I get excited looking at Prime One doing the Prey, and I watched that video. It's like literally like 15 seconds long. I probably watched it like 30 times. So I'm excited that they're doing that character. So I'm looking forward to the results for that. I know I'm getting it. It's not a question. I'm going to get it. So we'll see. Will, is there anything that you sold that you regret selling?
Recently, not really. I have a piece being sold right now that I'm okay with letting go. But there were 2 that I do regret because for me, I haven't found a better one. So I haven't bought any, but Sideshow's EX Captain America. I had that piece and he's holding Ultron's head. So he was the EX version. I couldn't get my hands on the Black Widow for nothing, and she was very expensive at the time. So I ended up letting them go. But now I regret letting them go because I really haven't found one that I liked besides that piece. There was just something about that piece that I really, really loved about it. But other than that, all the other ones I've sold. Oh, actually, there's one more. Sumi Art Saitama. I mean, I should have never let that piece go, but I didn't want to get stuck in an anime rabbit hole, so I let it go. But man, that was such a beautiful piece. The paint job, everything was perfect. It was a 1/6 scale, but the monster behind him was like almost a 1/3. So it was a very, very epic piece, good piece. So yeah, those 2 right there are pretty much what I regret selling.
I have 2 mutes, so I'm trying to go back and forth. But Lane was saying that man, he's jealous of Alan's getting the Scar Predator too. Lane, just so you know, Alan's getting like the whole line. So like he's getting like the whole line pretty much, and which is going to make an incredible display. So I can't wait
for City.
Go that together. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be oh man, Mr. Martinez, I know, man.
He had one of the best collections of all time. Really did.
Okay,
yeah.
So
yeah,
one thing about it's another thing. Like you have great pieces, but Aiden has a great eye too, right? Because he's a great photographer on top of that. So he set up his display. He had amazing lighting on everything. Like everything that he did, to present his pieces, just made it that much better.
It was the perfect example of less is more.
Yes. And I mean, you see some collectors with literally like 50 statues in like this room. Like, dude, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. But he had some heavy hitters, man. He really did. So I know he's rebuilding his collection, now and getting new things. So
he gave me the idea. Gave me the idea with art prints right behind like 1/3 statues. Like he had big canvases though. I remember that he had like big canvases.
Yeah,
man,
me too.
like Aiden, get
Yep,
your
yep.
shit like going, man. I can't wait to see your new vision, man. I really can't.
Yeah, I talked
That's
to
how I
him.
started with mine too. My
Yeah.
1/3 canvases I got, my 36 by 24s for my
Yeah.
1/3s, is because I saw his stuff and I messaged him. I was like, bro, I need to know where you got that stuff. And then he explained it to me. I was like, oh, okay. I'll make my own custom ones. Thank you.
Yep.
So I started doing it, but I can never have the space like he did to display things the way he does. And he does have an eye for these things. So don't
He
get it
does.
wrong. He's very talented. Yeah.
He does.
We all need to get Aiden, like pay him to come over to our place and be like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. You know, like this is what we're gonna do. This light.
Yeah, he'll show up with a sledgehammer. He'll be like, "You got to take this wall down."
I think the perfect. I need Alan and Aiden to come in and just do, like, you know, both sides of my collection, and I'll just go have a pizza and come back, see what they've got done, and then I'll just.
You're doing fine. You're doing good. Once all those new Michael Pierces come in.
I hope so, man. Like, they're on the way. They're paid for. Everything's paid for.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting for the final result to come in and get them all set together. But and we're gonna order another one. One.
Gosh.
So yeah, we got to have RDJ behind glass, man. So
for sure.
Yeah, that's coming. Yeah, you know, you're right. Less is more. Sometimes it definitely builds. It gives a better representation of the statue. When you have 50 of them all together, it's kind of hard to be drawn to one of them, if that makes sense.
But there are collections I've seen, like Dennis, our friend. You know, he has a bunch of statues and it looks great as well. So it's tough, man. Like, how you do it? That's really
here's the thing about that is that if you have a ton of them, it has to be done right.
Yes.
So that's the thing. It has to be done correctly. If it's done correctly, you can see it. Like, everything looks great all together. If it's not done correctly, then it just looks like there's stuff all over the place, whatever stuff. So, but Dennis Perez has one of the most amazing X-Men collections I've ever seen. He's got a ton of great stuff. So I'm trying to get on everybody else's level of how things are set up. So, but
we're all lacking besides Alan. Let's be real.
Yeah, well, Alan's there, man. We're just trying to get on his level.
I've seen it. I'm the lucky one that's seen it, so it's amazing.
Yeah, I know, man. I know.
Everybody needs to go. Everybody needs to make a trip.
So JWR, is there a piece that maybe you sold that you regret selling?
I haven't sold anything.
Okay, man. He's like, yeah, nope, I haven't sold anything. I'm good.
Everything I bought so far, I really love. I've enjoyed. So I'm good.
Okay,
very happy. Yeah, no, I'm looking around the room. There's nothing I would really want to sell right now.
Yeah. Well, good.
Now there is an art piece that I sold that I regret.
Okay.
It was a Jock Batman 11 by 17. And we sold it to our good friend in the group, and I kind of regret it, but that person really, really enjoys it, and I have enough prints, but every so often I'll kind of look for it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I sold that one.
Well, I always look at it this way. There's always another one coming. So,
and hopefully Jock will be at New York Comic Con, and we'll be good to go.
There we go, man.
So,
but hey, well, Josh, once that 1/3 bug keeps biting you, you know, maybe you have to sell some stuff, man. Like it's a tough one with DC 1/3. So
honestly, Jimmy and I were talking about it the other day. I just I do have the bug, but I'm happy with 1/4.
DC
and I'm
1/4
really excited about the Tweeterhead bus line that they're doing. I'm really excited about that because they're going to do hopefully some characters that nobody else would take a risk on. And Chad with the Two-Face proved that he'll take some risks with some characters. So I think the bus line is going to be kind of my new direction, especially if he does characters that Sideshow won't do.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you buy things that you love, sometimes it's hard to part with them. And if you're really happy with them, don't change it. It's only gonna make room for others. You spend more money, etc. So be happy with what you have. I mean, I wish I could do that. I just consistently find new pieces that I want to change and do things. This is the second time I've rebuilt my entire collection. Like, I literally ended up with just two statues, and I sold the rest. And now I'm back to 4 statues, and now I'm about to rebuild with a ton more. So, and they're all coming too. So It's just going to happen. So, Mr. Kiefer, I know you've never sold anything you regretted, but maybe you can enlighten us just a little bit.
Oh man, I've sold so many pieces over the years, but I think the two most notable. I had the Sideshow Legendary Scale Darth Maul.
Oh.
And I had it signed by Ray Park.
Oh, I remember that.
And a Asian collector made me a good offer on it, and I sold it. And of course, 2 days after I sold, I'm like, damn, I'll never be able to replace this, especially that it was signed. But what's done is done. That one's gone. I'll never see it again. The other was just recently. It was the XM Studio, the original Warrior Alien that they did probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And I had the thing all packed up. I'd never displayed it. It's still sitting brand new in the box. I'm like, yeah, Prime One's got this coming out, that coming out. So I got a wild hair, and I put it up for sale, and it was sold within like 15 minutes.
Nice.
And as soon as that happened, I spent the rest of the night having seller's remorse. I'm like, man, why the hell did I sell that? I didn't even display it. So the next day I got up, and by the end of the day, I had it replaced. I found I found another one, brand new, never displayed, and bought it. I had it within a couple of days, and it's out displayed now, and I'm happy I have it back. So my thing is now, when I decide to sell something, I'm going to sleep on it for at least 24 hours before I pull the trigger on putting it out for sale. Because you do things impulsively,
Yeah,
and then you may or may not be able to replace that piece, depending on what the edition size was on it. So